Hey everybody, Pastor Matt here. I'm glad that you are joining us, hopefully. Oh, here we are. Hey, good morning, everybody. Pastor Matt here on this super chilly Valentine's Day. And so this is a special day for us as a family, or at least for Cindy and me, because it was 23 years ago that remarkably she said yes. And so um, when I proposed to her and she said yes on Valentine's Day 1998, 2 weeks later I went to South Florida to begin my task as a minister of worship and youth at the First Baptist Church of Clewiston, Florida. I didn't want to propose without having some sort of gainful employment. I had just graduated from seminary and I had been talking to this church in South Florida, and it was a beautiful 3 year relationship that we had with this church. But I went down there and she stayed up to get things ready for the wedding while I got things ready for our life to begin down in South Florida. But it's hard to believe 23 years ago. And it is really hard to believe that I woke up this morning and it was 8 below, around 20 below wind chill. So this is one of the chilliest Valentine's days that we've certainly had. But I'm glad that you're here. Now, before we get into who Valentine was, some of you may be wondering what in the world makes us make a decision to opt out of in person services and just to go to online services. I will tell you the number one thing that I look for is the safety and the ability of our leaders, those who have a task here at the church that make these worship services logistically run. If it's going to be dangerous and slick for them to get here, then that's where we're going to opt out, because we know that if we have something, obviously folks will come out of duty, but we also know that others will try to make it as well. So we look at what the reports are saying the night before, and the reports that we were getting was that not only was it going to be slick and it was going to be cold, but they said if you were out in this more than 10 minutes, then you were going to be subject to frostbite. Well, what would happen if your car doesn't start, or if you're at a stoplight, car doesn't go, and then all of a sudden you're not only going to be out there for 10 minutes, you're going to be out there for a while. And, we'll be here next week. Lord willing, we'll be here next week. But that's what makes us go into these decisions of saying, hey, this is why we're going to opt for just online services. And honestly, I am thankful that we have this technology to where we can provide this for you. So, Valentine's Day, what in the world is Valentine's Day? So, the association we have with Valentine's Day is that the stores begin right after New Year's, begin putting out Valentine's cards and stuffed animals and chocolates, heart shaped things. But what in the world goes into, and why in the world did we choose Valentine's Day? Well, I'm not going to go into all the particulars, but I'm going to at least tell you who Valentine was. Valentine was actually a martyr in the church. He was martyred around 269, 270, and so he lived around the third century. So that's why we celebrate that feast day. The Roman Church opted to celebrate that feast day on February the 14th, and so I'm pulling this from Britannica, so it's usually got some pretty good information. Actually, in the Roman Catholic Church, he is the patron saint of lovers. So there we go. There's the connection. Lovers, epileptics, and beekeepers. I don't know why. That's for research for another day. But he was also one, and there was a story that he was also one who would marry folks secretly because he believed in that holy sacrament, that according to the Roman Church, of marriage, or the biblical practice, as we Protestants would say, of marriage. But what he would do is he would marry soldiers secretly, because in order for you to go into the army, the Roman army, you had to be single unless someone wanted to get married. And so he would marry them secretly, and word got back, and that's where he was martyred. That's why he was martyred. And so there's a legend that that Valentine signed a letter from your Valentine to his jailer's daughter, whom he befriended and healed from blindness. That's the story. And so when we see this, we see how it kind of expanded, and someone took it along and made it to where now it is just this marketing junket that we have here. So that's where we're at, and that's what we're all about here. So that's why we're celebrating, and that's why we're observing this. But for me, that was one of the, I thought Valentine's Day when I proposed to Cindy, I thought, well, this is a wonderful day to be able to do that. Um, I look back, I didn't know how to cook, and so everything that I made her a dinner, and that dinner was really, really pitiful. But she loved me. She loved me regardless. But sometimes, we sometimes think it has to be this perfect grand deal. Doesn't have to be. Sometimes, even if it doesn't go well, certain acts of kindness and certain acts of love, the gesture will mean everything, even if it doesn't get up to the mark as far as quality is concerned. So I was very thankful for Cindy and for the grace that she extended to me on that really pitiful dinner that I made her on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1998. Do you have a Valentine's story? Share it. We'd love to hear about it because we believe that love is something, especially a love that God has brought together. It's something to celebrate. All right. So again, we're going online only, live stream only. So you can go to arbc.net and access the live stream there, or you can go to facebook.com/Arapahoe. That's with an E, Arapahoe Road, and you'll be able to access the live stream that's there. But it's going to be very bare bones, and so I appreciate all of your prayers. Please stay safe. Please stay warm. But hopefully you'll be able to engage us in the Word as we move forward together. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.